geared towards giving the young generation, my generation, the game they need to succeed. So, got a pretty wise dude right here on with me. He's gonna spit you all some game that you can take away from this episode and just better your life with. So we're gonna let him introduce himself, get right into it.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Brandon Gates. You might know me on social media as Not Your Average Agent. And also, I am host of the Pull Up Experience podcast here in Cleveland. So yeah, check it out when you get a chance.
Fellow podcast host, like he just mentioned, he does have his own podcast, so make sure you all check that out.
Yes.
The Pull Up Experience on YouTube, look it up on Instagram.
Yes.
Shout out to all their social media.
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the platforms.
So I guess it's only right to start off with that. Your podcast, we'll start with that. What made you want to start the Pull Up Experience? Why the Pull Up Experience name? What is your focus, and what is kind of like the impact that you plan to create with this platform? I'm not even gonna call it a podcast because it's more than that.
I got you. I appreciate it. By the way, I want to give Jordan his flowers, man. I'll call Jordan my young OG. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason why, because to be only 20-some odd years old, he's the most wisest man I know.
I appreciate it.
You know, so whenever I get with him, he's always schooling me a lot of stuff. So let me get his flowers too, man. Because I remember before we had our licenses, and we would hang out at the brokerage or whatnot. We both talked about how we wanted to be as agents, and now, you know what I'm saying, we're doing the very thing we spoke about.
It's a manifestation, where it's a power in tongue.
Absolutely.
Speak everything into existence.
Absolutely. So, I mean, to answer your question, I'm a podcast head, man. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I remember during the pandemic, you had Earning Leisure, you had Tom Billionaire's podcast, you had Social Proof. You had all these great entrepreneur podcasts with Black people who were doing great things. And I literally said to myself, okay, Atlanta has it, New York has it, California has it. Why can't we have something like that here in Cleveland? Because I thought about personally myself how many entrepreneurs I knew, and I'm pretty sure with the right network I can tap into even more. So I remember just thinking like, okay, how do you start a podcast? So once again, like everyone else, on YouTube. And then I took pieces of episodes I had listened to them on different podcasts about how they started. I'm like, okay, bits and pieces here and there, right? And then I tapped in with other people in the city and I asked about, like, you think it'd be a good idea? And I'm not saying I relied on the what they said, but I know the feedback I got back was great. So I'm like, you know what, I think I might have something with that. And then I tried it. When I say I tried it, I had 2 other failed podcasts. Not failed, but like I said, I tried them and they didn't work out, right? And the Pull Up Experience just really stuck. We first started with a network event that evolved to the podcast. And I remember we were sitting inside the Unbar Cafe over here off Larchmere. And we were sitting, me and Marquita, shout out to Marquita, man, Beneficial Babe on Instagram. And we were talking about the network event. And the random lady who was sitting where we were sitting at, she said, y'all should record this. We were like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. And we've been doing it ever since. And I remember it was episode 5, and we was sitting down with Nakia, owner of 2U Wines, and we literally said, hey, you know what? We had an interview, it's supposed to be 4 hours, it turned into a 3-hour conversation. And we literally said to ourselves, we need to put her on the podcast. And ever since then, that we've built our team ever since, and it's been getting better and better with just time. And the reason why we chose the Pull Up Experience for 2 reasons, right? One, because we used to pull up on people, like literally go to businesses and like literally do an interview where they were at. But then secondly, because we try to elevate entrepreneurs, because whether if you're a big business, small business, you have accomplished something in whatever you're doing. So we want to be able to lift you up in your process and then encourage the next person who sees your idea or get inspired by your story to get put up in the process.
I like that. I like to play on words with the Pull Up Experience. I definitely do commend you all for just, like you said, building something in this city for positivity, honestly. Just being able to elevate fellow entrepreneurs and just allow people to come together and work collaboratively.
Oh yeah.
That kind of segues into the next topic I want to touch on, which is the power of collaborative efforts, kind of like the power of network and power of working together. I know you just mentioned that you kind of have been partnering with and building your team around the pull-up experience. So can you just, not even just as it pertains to your podcast, but can you just speak to the power of networking as it pertains to, if you want to speak about real estate, your podcast, being an entrepreneur, or even just being a human?
That's a great question. Let me tell you this: when you first become an agent, they tell you to reach out to your sphere of influence, right? And that leads you so far, because outside of who you work with, your family, that's about maybe, let's say, 100 people tops, right? I encourage anybody who has a server-based business or business period, leverage one, social media, then two, leverage other people's networks. That's essential because I want to say 80% of my clientele comes from social media, right? And then the other portion comes from networking. And I say that because you'll be surprised if you come from a place of value, the windows of relationships will open up to you. And what I mean by that is that I, as myself, if I can educate you on real estate, if I can educate you on the wealth you can create with real estate, if I can show you how these different things that you don't know about, I create a value. And because of that, now you see me as a value. Now we can develop a relationship from there. And I think that's something that we as agents, as anything that we're doing, should understand that concept and be able to speak upon that, because it will open the doors for you in other relationships also. And what I mean by leveraging other people's networks, the great thing about having a podcast, y'all think I'm gonna make the podcast just for other reasons, but it's the best networking tool you can ever do. Because one, you get someone on your podcast, one, people like talking about themselves. Here's the point up here right now, right? You know. Two, while you got somebody sitting there, you are they're showcasing their expertise, but at the same time, you're kind of getting a free course on anything you want to ask questions about, right? And then that person then is going to want to promote that said interview you have with that person, right, on their own social media, on their own networks, and now you're getting exposed to all their friends, their families, and whatnot. So that's why I love podcasting, and that's why I believe you should also have another way of network with other people, whether it's going to networking events, whether it's starting your own podcast, whether it's, I don't know, streaming on Twitch, whatever you're comfortable with, but don't stick to the same old ideals of older times, which is go door to door, which is not antiquated, but as we're in this digital age, take advantage of the very tools that we have at our advantage, right? So
I can definitely attest to that. I definitely do agree and concur with like your love and passion for podcasts. Like I was just speaking about in a previous episode, just going through high school, and once I got to a point where I realized that I didn't want to go to college, and college probably wouldn't be the best route for me, podcast kind of became my primary school at that point. Definitely YouTube University and podcasts, self-help books. And so I kind of just took my education into my own hands at a certain point. I would say probably about like 10th grade. Because as a freshman, I did have aspirations to go to college. But I would say it kind of died off once I got to 10th grade. Wanted to start making, I would say once I got my first job, that's what did it. Once I started making my own money, I was like, okay, I'd rather be, because once I got my job, I was working weekends. I was never going to no football games. I wasn't going to no school events. I was at work. If I was not at school, you could catch me at work getting some money. So just being in that mindset at such a young age, like I said, 10th grade, and just taking the initiative with my own education, listening to podcasts, like you mentioned, the Social Proof, Side Billionaire, Earn Your Leisure. Earn Your Leisure is a big one for me, for sure.
And they're a testament, man. I think they started during the pandemic. So we're talking what, almost 3 years. They're a testament as what can happen after 3 years.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, right? They went from, I remember, I could recite their story from verbatim. What started as a school program turned into a $1 million industry, show, tours, and all that good stuff. And once again, leveraging other people's networks, they now create a network of their own. So don't tell me what's, you know what I'm saying? Don't tell me what's not possible. They showing us what it is possible. You know.
They started with 2 guys and an iPhone camera.
And an iPhone camera,
and
bro.
now they interviewing Rick Ross.
Exactly, bro.
At his estate.
Exactly, man.
That's
So
crazy.
and these like not saying they're regular guys, but like once again, these are not
They
everyday
are
people.
regular guys.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And
I think Troy's still a teacher, right?
no, he stopped being a teacher a long time ago, bro.
Well, he was a teacher.
Yeah, he was. He was a gym
Troy
teacher.
was a teacher.
He was a gym teacher. And Troy was a teacher, and Rashad was a financial advisor. Yeah. And once again, I look at him, man. So yeah, I applaud them brothers.
But no, I was speaking about just my love for podcasting kind of came about in 10th grade, and I started listening to so much. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Andy Frisella.
Yeah, yeah.
But the MFCEO project, bro, I was listening to that so much in high school.
Mm-hmm.
My mom probably credits that to why I cuss so much, but Andy Frisella definitely had a big impact on me. But just the podcast and my own self-education is where just getting to the point where like I want to learn what I feel like learning, but I don't want to be forced to. Like I took an advanced placement world history course in 11th grade, bro. It's probably the dumbest class I've ever taken.
Right.
I was just forced to learn stuff that I have no interest in.
Exactly.
And
everybody had no use for it.
My GPA is based on this. I don't like that. So I was just learning a lot on my own, listening to a lot of podcasts, and then I got to the point where I was like, okay, I've listened to a lot of stuff. I've consumed a lot of information. I think I'm at the point now where I want to start my own. And so I started my first podcast once I graduated high school. That was about, I'll say like August of 2020 maybe. It was originally called the Self-Development Junkie. And so I made a whole brand around that, got a logo made, and I started releasing episodes under that name. Just kind of giving people game on how to really elevate their life. My first episode what's my first episode? I think my first episode I was talking about patience and just really how to take things slow. If you're like me and Taquan, we're just speaking about how to build a legacy, but do it slowly and be patient with it. And then I was just kind of thinking of topics each episode to give people game like that.
Yeah.
And then eventually I changed it. It's now called the Duffel Bag Show. The same kind of, it's really the same show, but I just changed the branding. Kind of changing like the approach with it. But yeah, I do have that personal podcast that I still record for, but I do it like kind of sporadically. I just do it when I feel like it. But I also have this one as well, giving games to the people. Like all the people were giving me game back in high school when I was seeking higher education. And it's funny I say higher education because it's actually not higher politically, because I'm listening to free YouTube videos, free podcasts that anybody has access to, but higher education in the sense that this is putting me in a different perspective, in a different mindset as far as just what's possible in the world, really.
Yeah.
And so podcasts is definitely just something that I admire, something that I'm passionate about. And once I realized that I'm pretty good at speaking and building relationships and just having charisma, talking to people, I was like, I might as well start my own podcast.
Yeah, and the thing about it, man, people are forgetting that a lot of media now is made by people like you and I now, and people are consuming more of it versus the mainstream media. Because back in my day, it was only news network, CNN, Fox News, all that great stuff. Now, you know what I'm saying, you have a podcast for any niche that you want now. There's something
true crime.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? And mind you, they're lucrative because a lot of people don't know, a lot of these major corporations are now paying for advertisement amongst these podcasts to get to these niches that they normally won't have a chance to get to. So don't sleep on them, because once again, they can be very profitable too. You know, we have a couple sponsorships and whatnot. That only makes sense because once again, if we're in that field, why not partner with us to get to leverage our audience? That's what it comes down to. So yeah. So you know, see the podcast started. And then I like one other podcast because you can do it while you're working out, while you're cleaning up, all that good stuff. Like you would do music. This is the challenge I'm gonna give the audience, right? Take this week. Replace the times you will listen to music this week, like your commute to work, when you're working out, and just replace it with one podcast. One around something that will benefit you, whether it be social, self-development, whether it be educational, wealth, some of that nature, just for 1 week and see if it doesn't change your life or just change your mindset altogether. That's what I want to offer you today.
Just giving the audience a call to action. I'm hoping that y'all actually follow
y'all
up with it. Now, I definitely do like that call to action right there because I don't think people realize just how impactful the subconscious mind is really.
Absolutely.
And so when you're listening to these songs, when you're listening to music, when you're not unintentionally, but when you're subconsciously consuming this information, these vibrations, these frequencies, they're adjusting your mood, they're changing your chemical makeup, they're changing your vibrational patterns and you don't even know it. And so when you're listening to all the shoot 'em up bang bang songs and all the rob 'em, kill 'em music, that's going into your subconscious whether you know it or not. Like when you're singing the lyrics to these songs, like you're literally vibrating on that frequency, and so you're walking in that same energy, you're operating on that same wavelength. But like Brandon just suggested, if you kind of give the music up for a car ride, give the music up for an hour, listen to a podcast that'll teach you how to rebuild your credit so that you can buy that investment property that's going to pay you cash flow every month, so that you can quit your job that you hate so much.
Exactly.
When you listen to that 1 hour podcast, that's going to make that light bulb go off in your head. That's really going to change the way that you
rewire everything.
Look about. That's going to change the way that you look at the things that you consume, and it may just change your life. Honestly, 1 hour. Just take 1 hour.
1 hour.
Not even an hour. A lot of podcasts really are shorter than an hour.
Yeah.
You could get some good gems in 30 minutes or less. I know these podcast episodes that I'm filming are about 30 minutes, so that's a testament to that.
So yeah, you are doing the job right now, but listen to this. So shout out to you, the listener, or the person watching this.
Absolutely. But I'm gonna transition here. We touched on the power of networking, power of collaborative efforts. We obviously just spoke on both of our passions and love for podcasts. I want to transition here. I'm gonna start with this because you did mention that you are not your average agent.
Yes.
Most of the social media platforms, Instagram is coming to my mind to begin with.
Yes.
What made you go with that moniker? Why that name? And then I got another question for you after that.
No, I got you. So why pick not your average agent? One of the many reasons why I picked it because I'm a big rap fan. You know what I'm saying? And anyone who knows any typical rapper, they all got a moniker, right? All the good ones. You know what I'm saying? Even if they go by their name, they got a variation of it, right? For me, I can't rap to save my life. But what I do got, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna leverage it. And I think the most, you'll remember, if you can associate name with a person, you'll always remember it. So I said, okay, I know what I don't wanna be. What do I want people associating me with? And I know for me, when I thought of a real estate agent, I thought somebody in a suit with a briefcase, you know, when they gonna meet with a client, right? And I'm like, well, I'm not definitely not that guy because when I go meet my clients, I'm in Jordans and a hoodie, right? With a laptop. But nonetheless, though, I'm still gonna offer you that same professional service as a typical real estate agent. And I said, you know what? I don't want to be like an average agent. And I'm like, you know what? That's it right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be an average agent. So I'm not, because my thing is, when it comes down to my clients, I don't look at them as a commission check. I look at them as a person who's trying to change their entire family's financial future with the purchase of this investment right here. And I'm going to educate them as much as possible. And the transaction doesn't stop after you buy your home. I'm going to be there when you go to sell your house. I'm going to be there when you have your housewarming. I'm going to be there when you decide to sell your house. I'm going to be there the whole way through, even in the beginning when your credit jacked up. I'm going to be there at the beginning.
When the grandkids graduate.
That's right. That's facts.
I'm gonna still be there.
I'm part of the family, baby. Part of the family. But yeah, I wanted to deviate myself from other agents, and what better way than to actually put in the name. You know, one of the things I'm actually proud of when I meet my clients, they all say the same thing. Like, one, they appreciate working with someone they can relate to, someone they feel comfortable with. But then two, they don't feel like this is business. They feel like this is like, you know, like a big brother, educating them on something they needed to know. So that's how that came to be, and I actually appreciate the fact that I can embody that and people actually say, "Oh, your name fits you." So,
Absolutely. It's a great story behind a great moniker, behind a great agent.
appreciate that, bro.
But a segue off of that, speaking about your social media handle name and kind of how that came about, kind of give the people a rundown on who you are in the social media world for those that don't know, because he's somewhat of a figure of fame right here in the Cleveland area. So I'm gonna let him run that down before I get to this next question, this next topic.
You know what? Everyone says I'm a figure. I just know that, you know what I'm saying, I just leverage social media like I feel like everyone should, you know what I'm saying? People, I feel like if you're not making money on social media, why are you on it? If you are just scrolling, just be scrolling, you are wasting your time.
You're literally doing nothing.
You're doing nothing. Yeah, you might if you. I feel like when I am online, I should be educated, entertained, or encouraged. One of the three, right? And that's what I bring to my page. You're gonna be educated on some real estate stuff. You're gonna laugh about the real estate stuff, and you're gonna be encouraged about it. You know what I'm saying? Or think. So all those things. I'll never forget when I first started. I'll never forget this dude told me, hey man, your page is dope, but what is it that you do? And that hurt my heart, bro. It hurt my heart. Cause I'm like, damn, I'm out here pulling content out, but he don't know what I do. You know what I'm saying? So that literally changed everything. Like, I feel like when a person says, no one, if you have a business online, no one should have to guess what you do. They should know off top. They should be able to tell in the first few posts on your page what it is that you do. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I literally went back to the drawing board and I literally just picked 3 of my favorite pages. And I literally said to myself, what is that made me go to that initial page, right? And I went from there. And I just deconstructed the whole joint, man. And everything comes back to the 3 points of educating, encouraging, or entertaining somebody. You know what I'm saying? And that works. And I would tell people this all the time. When it comes down to posting on social media, it actually does take work. It takes you taking out time out your week to literally structure your posts. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be posting anything. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this: after you get down to a discipline, get down to a science, it becomes a lot easier from there. I can't say many times. Like for me, I'll give y'all a real gem. When you have something that really hits, you know what I'm saying, as far as likes and people are engaged with it, man, you better repost that joint. You know, the people's attention span is so short. People don't even peep it. If let's say something hits in January, I get a lot of likes on it, right? A lot of engagement. Bro, come February, I'm gonna repost that joint around again, and they're gonna do the same thing all over again. It's seeing what your audience likes or your followers like, look at the analytics, and then saying, okay, let me push on that a little bit more. Exactly, bro. Do what works. You know what I'm saying? It's not rocket science, but at the same time, it is work, and that is how I feel like that helped me tremendously with my social media presence. You know what I'm saying? And then being consistent. I feel like this: if you aren't posting enough, that a person associates you with whatever they're looking for. So take me for instance. I post so often is that a person about real estate, they don't think about me. So I post that much. Because you think about it, whenever you think on social media, you're like, damn, I want something to eat. What do you think about the last thing you've seen about, right? Why not be you when it comes to real estate?
Why not?
You know what I'm
Why
saying?
not you?
Why not you, right? So post to the point somebody I like someone said this. They said people either gonna block you, unfollow you, or be inspired by you. One of the 3. And I'll be damned if it works.
I prefer the latter.
You know, you're right.
I don't need nobody blocking or unfollowing me.
Hey,
Not
listen.
when I need the leads.
Yeah, I got you.
But all right, in this day and age of phone in the face, everybody got a computer at what's the word?
The palm of that hand.
Yeah, fingertip accessible computers. Everybody got a computer in the palm of their hand. In this day and age of super accessible information, super accessible everything, how would you say that social media marketing really impacts entrepreneurs and how their business is run and how successful their business is?
That's a great question. I know back in the day, people used to put a lot of emphasis on having your own website, right? Which you still should have, by the way. But nowadays, especially with our generation and the generation after us, the first thing they ask you, what's your Instagram, right? So for any person right now, social media really is where it's at as far as using it to leverage it for all the right reasons. So many corporations are now reaching out to quote unquote influencers. Influencers is just someone who has a large following, right? But once again, the large following is what they're leveraging. So I see as a generation how often people see that and they aspire to that, right? Because once again, influencers equal what? Followers equal what? Dollars, exactly. So for anyone, I would encourage you to work on your social media presence, especially if you have a business. Once again, I can't tell you how many times in my DMs, man, I get a DM I get at least 3 a day asking me, hey Brandon, can you help me look for a house? Hey Brandon, I'm looking to rent this or whatnot. And it's gotten to the point, and Jordan, no, I will shoot to Jordan real quick. Hey bro, you mind taking care of this right here? Because once again, I'm leveraging my social media. I'm not posting just to be posting. I'm posting with intention. I post come morning, noon, night, boom. And I feel like everybody should do the same thing, man. Once again, I know it's gonna sound repetitive, but once again, come up with a system, come up with a plan, and stick to that plan. All businesses should be doing this and leveraging all their social media networks, not just the Instagram, but also TikTok, Facebook. Wherever your audience is primarily on social media, that's what you should be leveraging to help your business as a whole. And that's if you're a service-based business, if you have a product, etc. So,
Brandon did just touch on the fact that he throws me oops as far as leads are concerned for real estate that he gets from his Instagram DMs, but I just wanted to mention, while I got you here with me, that we do have a bidding war on that Lender Credit listing.
oh, listen to that. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Come on now. Come on, man.
We do have a bidding war on that Lender Credit listing. We have a listing together.
And where listen, where that referral came from?
That referral did come from. I'm gonna let you tell it.
No. Listen, man. Social media, man. They stay in the DMs, bro. And my thing is, once again, and I like to think of myself as a person who's not greedy, man. I want to see everybody win. So you know what I'm saying. And I know me. I know some people who are selfish, like, no, I'm trying to take all of it. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? And the great thing about being an agent, like, I don't have to be the person who gets all the money. I still get a portion of it, but I'm not getting all of it. I rather let see my man Jordan shine. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we do it. And once again, it's all love. You know what I'm saying? This will be like our 3rd deal together or whatnot. Once again, and I don't mind it, and I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love seeing people in our brokerage win, man. So I appreciate it.
I want to say why I got you here with me, especially while we're recording this podcast, that you about to get paid from that deal for sure.
Appreciate it, bro.
I didn't talk to 2 agents today.
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 48K offers, both cash.
Same.
Both they can close before the end of this month.
That's good, bro.
And so the dilemma for me now is just to pick which one.
Mm-hmm.
And so the sellers, she literally told me the ball is in your court. So I'm like, okay. So I'm making a sale for you.
Hey. I say you try to see they go for 49,
I was definitely
45.
I was about to hit the second offer and say, because it happened like this. The first offer, he came in at 42.
Yeah.
And then we were about to go with them. So I
Mm-hmm.
presented that to the sellers, and then I got another one today for 48.
Mm.
And so the first offer called me just to make sure I got it, and I told him about the 48.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, we're gonna match that.
Mm.
And so I gotta reach out to the second offer and see if they wanna go higher.
45, bro. And you know what I'm saying? They're
I'm gonna see if they wanna go 50.
Yeah, I say you go for it, bro. Hey, listen, that's what's up. I'm proud of you, man. I remember, like I said, the days we were sitting in that. Remember when we had the award ceremony? We weren't even age yet, bro. And we was like, man, look at this.
Talking about that, I'm all right.
Yep. And I remember we weren't neither one of us licensed, bro. But now look at us. You know what I'm saying? So God is good, man.
I definitely do love to see the journey. That's why, like, last episode we was talking about enjoying the process, bro. Like, I remember being fresh out of high school, fresh in Cleveland, fresh face in Cleveland, no credit, no car, no job.
How you doing it, bro?
I was in a crib for the first month that I lived here, bro, just setting everything up, had nothing to my name. I'm like, damn, bro, I gotta get some motion going. I came out here to get my real estate license. I gotta get going. And then everything just started falling in place. Everything just started making sense, bro. met Dream Team, got involved with Dream Team, got exposed to y'all, Mr. Cartwright, Miss Renee, bro, and now the moon is that's I'm not even gonna call that that's not even the end all be all, bro. That's a possibility. I'm trying to take over the galaxy.
Bro, and you only 20, bro. That's the part that be killing me. Every time I speak to Jordan, I forget how old he is. You know what I'm saying? He's only 20 years old.
I be happy to tell myself I'm only 20.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you, man. I remember I was telling you I wasn't doing a portion of what you're doing, bro. So I'm proud of you, man. No one else tell you, bro.
Nah, I definitely appreciate it. But that's just a testament to, like I was speaking about. I keep referencing the last episode, like y'all are watching it, but that's just a testament to the fact that, like I'm saying, this generation, this podcast is called Gen Z Future Fortunes. It's a testament to the fact that the younger generation, bro, like we mentioned, I'm only 20 years old, so I'm a prime Gen Zer. Our generation, bro, we really have the full advantage of being able to learn from other people's mistakes and take advantage of being exposed to wisdom that can be passed down to us. Because our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, they had to get it out the mud. They had to go through the trials and tribulations and make those mistakes firsthand, because there was nobody there to tell them, nah, don't do it like this, because this is what's going to result. They had to literally drag themselves through the mud, get through the mud, dust themselves off, and then pass that wisdom and that knowledge down to my generation. And so that's just something that I'm super appreciative of.
But I feel like this, like, you know what I'm saying? Like with each generation, more, with each generation passing, they are more freely giving out information. You know what I'm saying? Because with the birth of the internet, you can't help but like, all right, sorry, y'all. Let me try to give you some games so I gave it to you when, you know what I'm saying? But let's take for my dad's generation, baby boom generation. They were not giving up any game. I would freely say, you know what I'm saying? Like we ask a question, like, no, you gotta do like you gotta figure it out, right? Now come after baby boomers, Generation X, right? That's from like 1970, all that good stuff. My older cousin, all that or whatnot, they would give us game every once in a while, but it was game, but it wasn't always beneficial game. You know what I'm saying? It was like, hey, sell this right here, do this right here. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But then come millennials and like, man, we giving you game, you don't even need it. You know what I'm saying? You don't need it, but we giving you all the game. Generation Z, they come out the womb. Like, here you go.
The womb is influence.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine, and I just found out today, like the generation after you guys, Generation Alpha, bro, they a whole different breed, bro.
Nah, them pandemic babies about to be something.
Oh yeah.
When they get to like high school age, them quarantine babies about to take over the world.
Yeah, bro.
Nah, it's gonna be funny to see how that generation does and how they compare to not only my generation but your generation, like your dad's generation, grandfather, all that. So that's crazy. Yeah. All them kids born during the quarantine.
Bro, they're gonna be
something crazy to see how they pan out, how they evolve.
Yeah.
Let's see. We spoke about podcasting, spoke about social media marketing, power of networking, collaborative efforts. I could go back to these questions that you gave me. Actually, I'm not going to ask you your impact, but I definitely am going to ask you what would you say? Paint a picture and just depict what you want your legacy to be, as far as really every endeavor that you're involved in right now. I wouldn't say limited to just one thing. Just what is not your average agent's legacy look like?
You know, so wild, bro. I'm supposed to asking other people that question. I don't know about that. Nothing about myself. I'm so used to
good. The roles are reversed right now.
Yeah, that's a wild one. No, I appreciate that. You know what? I haven't really thought about that, but I can say this: I want that after I'm long and gone, Lord forbid that I pass away tomorrow, I want people to remember me as one, being a person that genuinely helped people and was there for people. You know what I'm saying? I might not be the best at a lot of things, but one thing I know that I will do is that I will help in any capacity I can with anybody I can. You know what I'm saying? So, one, my legacy would be that a person who genuinely care for others. Two, I wasn't perfect, but I try to be there for everyone. And then three, that when it came to building something, I stuck to it. that no matter the obstacle, no matter what happened, like I you know what I'm saying, I stuck to it, man.
I like that.
Man, that's a hard question, man. I'll be asking people that question all the time. I realize
I was going to answer the question myself now, but now legacy, that's definitely a hard question to answer because it's all encompassing of your whole life.
Yeah.
And so you can't speak to the years that you haven't lived yet. You hope to put something in the atmosphere and just work to manifest it and bring it to fruition. So
Yeah.
I feel like legacy is all about manifestation, power to time, just what you would love to see your life to look like.
No, that's
Me, my legacy is definitely gonna be smelling good for sure. A lot of expensive cologne. I'm becoming a cologne connoisseur, bro. I love cologne so much, but nah. Smelling good is definitely my legacy. Making an impact through real estate for sure. Just
see that's a better answer, bro.
being able to educate people through facilitating transactions as a real estate practitioner. I know selling my first client was a great feeling for me. The fact that I worked with a first-time home buyer, single mother that needed to get out of a dire situation. I'm not gonna put her person out there, but she actually had some crazy stuff happen at her property, and she really did need to move. Like I mentioned, single mother. That's actually a lead that came from YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Working with her I started showing her houses in February of last year, 2022. We didn't close until October.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So I was working with this lady for about 8 months, bro, on and off. She was getting to the point where she was getting discouraged. She didn't think she was gonna be able to buy a home. She was like, I think I should just keep renting. She was literally about to give up on me at the end because we wrote so many offers. We looked at so many houses, bro. I drove. If I told you how many miles I drove just showing her houses, because I had to drive an hour and a half away just to get to the city where she was looking at, and then I got to drive we looking at 4 or 5 houses every time we go out.
Yeah.
So that's
this is the thing they don't tell you in real estate school, by the way.
This is the stuff that's not going to be posted about real estate. This is the non-pretty part about real estate. You're going to be driving for 2 hours at a time just to show one property that your client not going to like. Then you got to drive 2 hours back just to write an offer that's not going to get accepted. Stuff like that. So yeah, it was 8 months of doing that.
It's hard work, but it's worth it though, right?
Writing a bunch of empty offers. She didn't think she was gonna be able to purchase. Shit, I didn't think she was gonna be able to purchase. Her money started getting low. She started spending her down payment. So I'm like, damn, my deal about to fall apart after a year of showing you properties. You're not gonna give me no commission. But we finally found something. And then even that deal, we got that offer accepted. We had to play a waiting game. The city had to approve it. Had to get the development approved. We was waiting on her funds to be approved, all this stuff. So that was like another month of waiting after the offer got accepted. And so we finally did close, and just that persistence and, like I said, just enjoying the process, that resilience taught me that you really have to you have to be willing to serve your client no matter what, because it got to a point where I was like, because her money was getting so funny, I was like, I might just use my commission to help her close this deal, or just I'm gonna pay for her to close this deal so that I can close it and make my money back. That's where my mind went. That's how bad it was getting. But we finally did close. But just to see everybody happy at the end of that transaction, see a first-time home buyer, like I said, a single mother in need of a transition, to see her purchase her first home, and the fact that she allowed a 19-year-old inexperienced real estate agent who's looking to make an impact be that first transaction for her and for me was that was huge. That was really all the proof I needed. And so once I did that, I'm like, okay, I can continue to replicate this. And that's what I'm about to do.
That's good, bro.
That's what I'm about to keep going.
And you know what's so crazy about the lazy question though, bro? Because I know it's like morbid for me to say, but I remember they asked Nipsey Hussle that question on an interview, right? And you know, after he passed, they played that same clip, and the fact that he literally did the very thing he said he's gonna do in that clip, you know what I'm saying? Just once again, to the power of, you know what I'm saying, of these podcasts, bro. Because you know what I'm saying, like, unfortunately, we all gonna die, but at the same time, a part of you was gonna live on this podcast, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I asked a question when I'm on my podcast. So Lord forbid you do pass away, we can be like, okay, remember you said you're there, look, he did that joint right there, or she did that right there. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta make sure you're making your legacy something that matters. Don't just don't say something that sounds good today. Say something that you actually gonna stick with, something that you actually gonna execute on, because I feel like that's the difference between legacies that manifest and comes to fruition and those that don't. If it's something that you're not gonna follow up with, if it's something that you don't really believe is possible for you, then it's not gonna come to fruition. But if you actually saying words that you're putting work behind and manifesting and actually nurturing, and you're actually, like I said, watering these seeds of growth, you're actually gonna see your legacy manifest over the course of your life, over your everyday life.
That's good.
Absolutely. So let's see. Talk about legacy.
Hey, I love the fact you got your questions written down, bro.
Okay.
we straight freestyle on my podcast. We used to be like, hey, what's your favorite color? No,
I'm trying to be a little bit of a better podcast.
That's dope, man.
host. On these previous episodes, I didn't have a clipboard or written questions down in front of me, and it got to the point where I was like, what should I say next? So I'm like, nah, I gotta come harder, bro. It's 2023.
That's dope, bro.
Trying to take the podcast to the next level. I gotta be on my Oprah Winfrey.
That's what's up, bro.
You know? But I feel like this was definitely a great dialogue right here. Was there anything that you feel like we should touch on before we head out?
No, bro. I mean, I appreciate you having me on, man. I just want to encourage everybody that let this be an example that, you know, you can, it don't matter what your niche is, no matter what industry you in, you can create something that people gonna wanna, you know what I'm saying, watch or see. So don't say it's so short. Go after that, you know what I'm saying? And if you fail the first time, try again, you know? I'm pretty sure, like Jordan said earlier, he tried out a podcast. I tried a couple podcasts for it when I actually had to hit, man. And now we at 5,000 subscribers. We at averaging 1,000 views per episode, you know what I'm saying? And once again, we on 100 episode, and that's a testament to, once again, not giving up, trying, and then finding what works, and just going ham on it. So I want to encourage the person who's watching this or listening to this right now to do that very same thing, whatever it may be.
Sounds like the focus of this episode is just being persistent in whatever it is that you do.
Facts. It's a great time of episode.
Whether that's social media marketing, networking, real estate prospecting, showing your clients houses in a city that's 2 hours away, on properties that you probably won't offer on. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Thank you to Brandon for allowing me to pick his brain for these great gems that y'all were able to be exposed to. I hope that you do take something away from this episode. And if you or anybody you know looking to buy or sell a house, definitely keep one of us in mind.
Yes, because definitely.
In the Cleveland area.
Yeah.
Ohio area.
Hey, listen, and investors out of town, if y'all watching this, come holler at us too. You know what I'm saying? Come buy in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Come invest in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? You can reach me at Natural Agent on all social media platforms, and check my podcast, The Pull Up Experience, on all social platforms. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna definitely put that in the description for you, bro.
Appreciate that, bro.
Because you know people don't like to do things that aren't easy.
I learned that, bro. I did the same thing with my guests. I'll put in the show notes because I don't want you to do search around. No excuse. If you like the episode, check my person.
You leave it up to them, it's not gonna happen.
Exactly, bro. You make it so even if how lazy, no matter how lazy you are, ain't no excuse as why you didn't hit that subscribe or whatever button.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you all for tuning in. Shout out to Brandon for his wisdom. Shout out to Brandon for his knowledge.
Appreciate you, bro.
Me and him going to definitely run some money up in
Oh,
our
yeah.
brokerage. This is not the last you'll be seeing of us, but definitely stay tuned and do something to better your life after you listen to this for sure.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in.
Peace, y'all.
3 in the books.
Look, you did it, bro.
3 in the books.
How you feel?
Feeling like I got 3 great podcast episodes.
That was up. What episode is this, by the way?